Okay, so now in understanding that and recognizing these two differences, let's get into the federal government and what it is and how it ties in. I need to talk to y'all about, I'm going to talk to y'all about three different governmental agencies. There are really more than three. There's four that we know of. There's federal, city, state, county. I'm going to say them in order: federal, state, city, county. Now, this is on the public side. On the private side is totally opposite. It's county, city, state, federal. Now, I just want to talk about right now federal, state, and county. When you're in the republic, you're in the private. The county is your biggest ally or one of your biggest allies, okay? Because this is where we put our documents on record. This is where we create our laws. But I do want to make it clear, you know who the state is. I didn't mean to do that. You know who the state is. The state is dealing with the United States Corporation, and I need you to know they are huge now. They are huge now. Everybody has forgotten how to do business with the federal government. I'm ready to get into the federal government. But I need you to understand, when I'm talking about state, I'm no longer just talking about Washington, D.C. Thank you, Black Sheep. Thank you so much for the love. I'm not just talking about now the United States Corporation that's sitting within Washington, D.C. But when a company incorporates under Washington, D.C., when you incorporate, you are registering. And those of y'all who don't know, I told y'all need to have paper and pen. If you don't have pen and paper sitting down here in front of me, you're missing out. Write this stuff down because I want you to go and look it up. At the end of the day, I don't want you to be saying you just believe me or what Diva said, because Diva said. Because when somebody comes and they try to say negative things about me, I don't want you to defend me. I only need you to defend the facts. Just the facts. That's it. If they talking dirt about me, look, Diva might be whatever you said. However, I know that everything she speak is on point because I researched it myself. This is not about belief. I know. That's what I need you to. I know. This is the age of knowing right here. So whatever you saying, okay, whatever. But what she said is on point. I know because I researched it for myself. That's when you're doing me a favor. Again, when you have a sovereign entity, it has a governor. And that's telling about when you talk about the United States of America, you got a president. That's for a dead corporate entity. All right. So now let's get into understanding what the federal government is. I was telling you about the state. And I'm going to finish this up. When someone incorporates or registers their business under the United States Corporation, you've given over title to it. You've given over ownership to it, to the state, meaning the United States Corporation. And when you do that, that business becomes their territory. I need y'all to understand how they have branched their tentacles out into territories that they have no jurisdiction over. So pay attention. I'm getting ready to say this again. When you incorporate LLC, whatever other business that you do under the, even a 501c3, when you do this, you are registering your business under the United States Corporation. When you register your business, you are giving over ownership of it to the United States Corporation. So now that is the United States Corporation territory. It's not yours. You like, oh, I'm running it, I'm making the money. But no, anytime they feel like they want to step in and take it over, then you have given them permission because you have registered it with them. And in doing so, you have given them another tentacle to reach out and touch all of the people. Okay? It's the same thing when you register your car, when you register your marriage, when you register your house, and you register your business. Anytime you're registering a business or anything, what happens is that product becomes property to the United States Corporation. And you've got to understand this is how they reach their tentacles into all of the United States, all over the place, because everybody has incorporated their property or registered their property with this organization, and they've become huge. Well, you've got to start learning to do business once again with the federal government. That's who is on your side. So here's the deal. When you register anything, then you're giving over ownership of it to whatever entity you registered it under. All right. So in this case, when you're registering your business or what have you, you're putting it up under the United States Corporation. This is how they branch out. And so what you've got to learn how to do is do business with the federal government. Now we get into it, peoples. Get into the good stuff. What is the federal government? Now, you have been made to fear the federal government the whole time. And the deal is, they are the ones who've been working for you. Who's made you fear the federal government? Well, the United States Corporation, with all of their propaganda, with all of their fear. Oh, you got to pay this and you got to pay this, or you're going to jail, and you don't pay your federal taxes, you're going to jail. It was them who's making you fear. You don't have to contract with them. And I need it to be made perfectly clear. I am not fighting against the corporation known as the United States. They have a reason for being, and I respect their reason for being. Nobody needs to fight you. However, I have the right to not contract with them. And this is one of the things that I'm here to help you understand, that you have the right to not contract with. And you need to understand who the federal government is and the differences between these two agencies. See, they just all say, oh, government, and y'all be like, oh, the government said. I need y'all to understand. There's more than 4 different governmental agencies. Today, I'm getting on federal in particular and state that I already have talked about. I also told you that when we're dealing in the private, we're dealing our best friend. That's the county. That's who we deal with. And then those of us who might want to walk in the public, then we got to understand who the federal government is. Okay, now with the federal government, there are laws that they have and things that they have to do on behalf of the people. I need y'all to understand, when we're talking about that estate, that all capital letter straw man name estate, that is an account that has been provided on behalf of the federal government. So when it's called Social Security, a state social, meaning the things that you need in the public and in everyday life, security, making sure it's secured so you can get to it. Account is what it used to be called, but now they just call it a number so that you don't understand that it has a value. It has a value. Those funds came from the federal government. Your mother is the one who signed and allowed the United States Corporation to draw funds from the federal government on your behalf. Okay, so now who is the federal government? Now, who they are, they're foreign, but they also have a whole lot of pull. They are darn near invisible. If you don't know what to look for or what's really going on, you're not going to understand the difference between the state versus the federal. You're going to think they're the same thing. You're going to keep thinking you got to go through these people to do something. So I need you to understand, even when it comes to courts, you do not have to go through their courts if you understand how to do business with the federal government. So let me help you understand how this works, because they are powerful. They're powerful and invisible. Let me help you understand what I'm saying. So for example, when it comes to anything that's supposed to be paid for in this, when you go out here and do business or what have you, there's a federal government that these people fear. Let me say this before I step into that. I was trying to understand what was going on. Who is state? Who is federal? Why? What's the difference? Why is this going on? And I started recognizing that the state or these organizations or corporations, they fear things. They fear them. I've talked to you all about the receipt and how you go to McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever, and they got a sign on the window say, if you didn't get your receipt, please let us know. We're going to give you a free meal. Why? McDonald's giving a free meal? Wendy's giving a free meal? What's going on? Why? Because if they don't give you a receipt, then they could be considered fraudulent or making fraudulent transactions, and that puts them into a lot of trouble. And that tells me they are fearing something. Who are you fearing? Why? It's just a receipt. Is huge.